to note some areas of concern prior to close. The ding in the cabinet. There's one around the quarter round there, just a little bit, but that one certainly needs to be addressed. That's not dirt. We got an unfinished edge there. It's not so in a lot of other places. And some nail heads sticking out. It's unfinished. Still need some pulls here. The only place in the whole house that needs pulls. Then don't know if I can quite get in on some scratches here, but some sign of some rough treatment right in there. There, maybe that got it a little bit. Also another spot similar to that here on this cabinet. See if you can get on that right there. So again, maybe right there. That's some dirt. That's not dirt. That's some things on the corner. So it needs a touch-up kit. So, backing up a little bit from over here, you can certainly see a hole in the electric. It needs a little bit of a drywall patch there. See it coming in. You can see that a little drywall patch and paint will reduce that visibility. So, still need to put the range hood in, but that should go up fairly soon. I've got a guy lined up to help me with that. Piece of trim. Over here at the sink, there's looks like somebody's been here doing a little bit. Some dust. Not sure what, but no caulking all around these edges. Still need the paint touch up. The painter's supposed to come back, but caulking seems to be okay around the window. But no, this is still just primed, not finished. Nail heads need to be filled, needs to be painted, and then of course caulked around here because that's going to get some splash from the sink. Reduce the water seepage in between there. So, and caulk all around the backsplash. There's no caulking, silicone. I got one, that's what I did with the electrician, but there's a overhead light on this side. You can see that one's operational. That's over the cabinet light. Here, that's a can light, a little sparkly, but this one's not working on the over cabinet. But contact Williams Electrical about that and get that fixed. I think it's just a loose light. They fixed it once before and it quit working. Other areas of the cabinetry, just a small area down here could use a touch-up kit, some cleaning. There's a ding right there. That's not dirt. You got some nail heads down there too. Nail heads pretty much all throughout the quarter round of the cabinet and the trim. You can maybe see a little bit here. I have a snapshot that shows the nail heads clearly, and the touch-up kit to reduce that seam. So there's a nail head there. Some nail heads throughout. Somewhat difficult to see on the video, but more pronounced in the daylight. There's one, another, all around through here. Nail heads right there. All that needs to be trimmed down. I know the trim guy is supposed to come back and finish upstairs a little bit too. But also this light here, let me turn it off, see if we can get a picture. Right here, when they installed this light, there, it's a crack. It's over tightened, mishandled, don't know what it was, cracked that needs to be replaced. Painter's coming back this week, touch up the baseboard. I heard there's a plan on getting that done. The stair nose here in the basement. Somebody left the light on down there. This was a temporary stair nose here that was installed by the flooring people. You can see it's old, worn. It's not new. It's also loose. then it needs to be replaced with a good stair nose. That's old used worn. I was here talking to them when they laid this down just for temporary to get their edge. So that's not much effort. That's loose. This door doesn't latch completely well. It swings open at will if you don't latch it a lot of times, but you can get a little bit of bounce without latching. You get a little latch, you gotta push on it with a little bit of effort to get the latch. So don't want to quite latch. So other than that, the front door on the reverse, on the front exterior, hard to see, and maybe this light, the outdoor light bulbs burn out, but around the lock and stuff, just where people have come in and out, needs to be touched up with black enamel. There's white spots coming through that. Interior of the closets are pretty good. I think the other one needs to be touched up on the inside just a smidge. Hope the painter gets to that. We got the guest room. Look good. We're in the sweeper today. They're looking good. I'm not going to go in and run my footprints all over it, but looks like the painter may have been in here. Let me take my shoes off. And there were some light spots here. You can see maybe on the video here. There's some light paint. I think in the daylight, some of the paint up here is a little more pronounced. Make sure they paint pretty well. I think they got some of it in their return trip earlier, but there's some light paint all through here. See, there you go. Some lightness. I'll leave my shoes off. Yeah, they got the painter company was supposed to come back and finish the staircase. They did a kind of a poor job last time all the way around, an unacceptable level. Here, it's a little hard to see on the video because of the light, but there's very pronounced brush strokes in here. I got still shots that really showed that off. There's brush strokes kind of all down through the urethane. Looks like somebody may have hit that with a little bit of sandpaper here in the last week, but need to urethane all this, make sure the nail heads are filled, but I understand they're coming back for that. So they've sanded this previously. I guess they have a plan in place to get that done. Clean the tape off, stain it. Oh, I got some stain run here. It looks like a little bit. Oh, just noticed that. Whatever method they use to put that down, they got some. I realize they'll probably come back, but looks like they got some stain run all through there. Still got some urethane to do. A little bit of a pop in the floor right there, just about 4 or 5 pounds worth of pressure. Get you a little click on the floor. Not too bad, but could get annoying. Let's see what they got done here. Looks good. Got it all cleaned up fairly well. No light bulbs in here, but overall it's been pretty good in here. We asked if they did remove the mirror. We're going to put up our own mirrors, and Rick did agree. So that's not the end of the world. Caulking here needs to be redone, as in all the bathrooms around here. Paint's been pretty good in here. There's one little spot. Yeah, you can't see on the video. Right there, it's a little glob. Not the end of the world. It's a little thing. Fairly good overall in here. Yeah. The other bedroom, I don't think we've noticed problems in the past. I did see, maybe a little bit breakaway from the caulk. I think a little bit in the window here. Just a little bit of breakaway, not much. So yeah, there's a little bit there. Hard to see on the video, maybe. There you go, caulk starting to break just a little bit. I think I saw that in the other bedroom as well, just a little bit of caulk separation. Whatever brand they used, it didn't quite hold, it seemed. So go. That's the other thing. I had to remind them to put those in there. That wasn't existent. Yeah, they had to come back after everything was done and install those. So now I have a separate light switch for everything. Every over the shower light has a light switch. And it's separate from the others. Not a big deal, but a little bit of an annoyance. I got caulk separation again. Just replace that. So do not use, no septic. Caught a guy in here one day. Came in after work and he was in here using the toilet. One of the workers didn't know there wasn't a septic. So, wasn't good. He did flush and wash his hands, but just went out into the yard. You got the overall foyer looks pretty good. I had a question about the return air. You can see it looks like don't know, not that knowledgeable about it, but you got a circle fitting inside of a square. Don't know if that just goes to the attic or not. Needs to go up there and take a look. Hadn't been up there. Need to measure the insulation and stuff, but wonder if that's just drawing air from the attic or letting air sink from the attic. Gotta check that out. This room's been pretty good. Overall, paint looks pretty good. Haven't noticed separation in the caulk on the windows or anything. Been pretty good. Again, we got the separate light switch again for the over shower. A little bit of an annoyance. It did come back and grout, I see here. It's been pretty good. You got a little bit of uneven tile, but very, unless you run your hand over it, you probably couldn't see it. But you come back and do these inside here. I don't know if that's grout, caulk, whatever the industry standard is for that, but I don't want that to crack over time. Certainly needs to be filled. Again, around the edges, it needs to be some sort of fill around that so moisture doesn't condense. Paint it, whatever else on the ceiling to make it look pretty again. It's got mortar and grout up there. So, in my trim, I think that's in here somewhere. And a piece of baseboard. I think we're missing a filler piece of trim over here. It's been notched out for whatever reason, but there's also a piece of filler trim. It's a little dark, but you can probably tell. That's on order. Caulking and stuff starting to separate like it is everywhere else. Not good. I got a little paint on my globe up there. So I think they had to notch out my back in there. I don't know if you can quite see, but there's a notch. I had to notch out just a little bit. Easily covered, but still just an imperfection a little bit. Little window looks fairly good. That needs to be fixed. Right there, I don't know if I mentioned earlier in the video, there's a can light in the great room area right next to that broken globe. There's a gap exactly like that in one of the recess lights. So just around the corner of the recess light, just so you can see that one's flush. You can see a little bit of a dark space downstairs. That one looks okay, you might see, but there's a gap. Closet looks okay, not going in there, I guess. Still need to install the shower surround. I understand it's supposed to be sometime midweek. As well as the aerator, septic, whatever you want to call it, that's supposed to go in also this week. Just a little bit of paint. Sure, they're coming back though. No, and again, we got some runs down here. It's not professional in my opinion. That needs to be looked at. Not too happy with how that turned out for sure. I hope that cleans up. See it from some distance too. It's just not clean. They stained this after they pinned the trim down, Then they come back and just put regular white masking tape down, stained it. I don't know, not a professional, but probably could have been done differently to reduce that risk of running out onto my floor. Yeah, doesn't look good there. That's not acceptable. Not quite sure why that's white right here. That was not our understanding going in, that would be white, as everything else is stained. And in the model home that we told the salesman to mimic, that was stained, even though that staircase is oak and more of a honey color. Still don't know why that was white when we ordered the same option and it turned out like it did. So we had to have them replace these two bars right there and over here. They took those and flipped this white baseboard on its end and made that the trim. It certainly didn't look appropriate. We asked them to change that. That wasn't good to anyone's eye. Everybody ever talked to, including subs and Rick himself, said that quite didn't look right. And so he just went and got some poplar and stained it, put it up there. Looked good. Here we are in the dining room. It's not a little dark in here. There's no bulbs in the light, but an often overlooked outlet here. It looks absolutely neglected. A little hard to see in the dark shadow, but all along in here I have a snapshot of it. That needs to be filled. Just some drywall patch, but looks horrible. Somebody dinged that really well. Just a little bit of attention, fix that. I don't know, you can maybe see a little bit there. And here's the light I was talking about. There you go. There's your drywall gap. Just an unprofessional finish. That's all. I mean, it doesn't look terrible, but it's certainly not professional. I think everyone else every other installation in the house looks just fine, except this one. Just a quick view of the rest of the sunroom. There's our fan. The rest of the sunroom. Sorry, a little bright. So we'll get the range hood up this week probably. Get everything pinned up and garage. Just overall looks pretty good. Area back there, a little cold, not going out. So a little laundry. Ready to go, measured up, everything fits, ready to install. Maybe like for that to be just a little more patch, just to keep some air leakage out that we don't need, just around the edges. Again, over here, same thing, just a plumbing issue. Just not that there's a problem with plumbing, it's just slightly unprofessional finish. A lot of air leakage through that area. That is an exterior wall. It's cold on the other side of that wall. So, half bath downstairs. Nothing too special, but again, the caulking separating out just like every other room. The finish needs to be trimmed out. Just some spots, paint drips and things. All the grout needs to be sealed. Didn't mention that before. Grout needs to be sealed. Nothing's been touched. He told me you do that the last day, but if you get down and look, it's still not sealed. Some more drips and unfinished cabinet edge here. I'll clean up down in there, whatever adhesive and some paint drips. I try to highlight those with some stickies and some pocket doors, just where hands and stuff have been. These registers have been bent on the inside. See, all bent up. They don't sit flush. Easy to fix. A little bit of a hammer, a little bit of bending it back maybe. Same on this one. I think there was one more in the house that way. Easy fix, but somebody else mistreated it, not me, so I don't expect to fix that myself. Little things. Put the fillers in there, just like these. They're all in there. They're sitting in the drawer, in that drawer right here in the island. So I think the dishwasher's been tested. Sink and disposal all work. The plumber has professionally hooked up the gas to the range. It's not plugged in or anything, but the gas is hooked up. Getting there. Refrigerator's ready to go. Water line's hooked up, ready to plug in and go. So, and a quick look at the basement and we'll be done. And finally nice and dry down here. Just the plain basement. So under the sunroom area. Things are ready to go. Sump pump plugged in, working. There's a cover to it somewhere. Needs to be on there. Overall fairly clean down here. Looks like they've mopped or something today, maybe. Maybe not. Alright. Looks to be in order in the basement. Wanted to have somebody take a look at this other than the electrician. Take a look at these hanging wires. Don't know what they're for. They look like coax, I think. Don't know why they're hanging. Take a look and have somebody eyeball this for me. Make sure that's surge protectors hooked up properly to the box and that it would be functional, just not the lights are on. It's actually hooked up correctly. All the gaps in the exterior, you can't check them in the dark, but there's two over here that need to be filled. A little bit of foam, silicone, take care of that. See around the pipes where they exit. You come in the daylight, especially around that one here, you can certainly see daylight coming through there. Needs to be fixed. Just hoping the painters didn't neglect this area as well. Just a little bit of splash, no big deal. I know it's a basement access, but if you're gonna do a job, might as well just take a paintbrush and hit that real quick while you're in here. Overall, it's looking pretty good. I highlighted the things I highlighted are fairly minimal. But come back in a few days and take a look again.